Hey, welcome back. It's another big story. Nigeria's socio-political landscape is often punctuated by heated exchanges and continuous statements, and the latest outburst by ex-militant leader Asari Dokubo against the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has sparked a significant stir. Now, Dokubo's remarks, laden with threats and bravado, have drawn widespread condemnation, particularly from the Arewa Youths for Peaceful Coexistence, who have called for restraint and also a focus on peaceful dialogue. The sharp rhetoric has amplified concerns over the legality of such threats, their security implications, and their potential to escalate tension in the country. The AYPC, through its FCT chapter and other affiliates, has been vocal in condemning Dokubo's remarks, stressing that the unity and peace of Nigeria must not be jeopardized by inflammatory rhetorics. The group's position reflects a broader unease within the northern region about the audacity and certain individuals to issue threats without legal or governmental accountability. These concerns are even more pressing given Dokubo's past affiliations and his self-styled claim of influence.
So to dissect this issue further, we're going to be joined and subsequently by Mark Ogah. He's the FCT chapter coordinator of the Arewa Youths for Peaceful Coexistence. And also, but joining us now is Olalekan Ige. He's the editor-in-chief, Independent Monitor. Olalekan, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you for doing this with us. I mean, let's just get started. The Arewa Youths have condemned Asari Dokubo's remarks against the FCT minister. What are the primary concerns, regarding his statements? Let's start there.
Well, I think it's to measure what Asari Dokubo had stated. It's not the first time he's had some kind of verbal attacks on the FCT minister. I think this has been coming. It's been long drawn as far back as 2-3 years ago, probably over political differences, probably over support of whoever they want. Remember that the politics in Rivers State is also influencing maybe some of his statements, and you can understand the background for which he's speaking.
Please do try and let us understand much better this background regarding the influence of Rivers State. And if you could also give us a bit of insight into why his threats seem to have so much power behind them. What exactly could it be? What power does he wield himself as a regular citizen of Nigeria with these bold statements, often to government officials, and often we see nothing happen, and sometimes even to the president himself?
Well, I'm sure you know there have been the local politics in Rivers State where you have this kind of upland and riverine divide in the politics, of Rivers State. For quite some time, since 1999, the riverine people have been angling, to produce a governor of Rivers State. In 1999, we have Dr. Peter Odili of the upland. He was succeeded by former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amici, who is also from upland. And Amici was also succeeded by Nyesom Wike, who was then coordinating Minister of Education, also an upland man. So we had about 24 years straight of upland people until Wike also succumbed to the pressure of the riverine people to have somebody from the riverine. So the current governor of Rivers State is from the riverine, from Opoponkoro local government area. Asari Dokubo himself is from riverine, from Asari Toru local government area of Rivers State. So you understand why there is some kind of support, for the governor of Rivers State, and why it thinks that the minister of FCT should let Fubara become act and also function as the governor of Rivers State. You understand the background of why an attempt was made to impeach the governor, advisedly on the orders of the minister of FCT. Even the minister of FCT himself had said that there was nothing bad if the House of Assembly members wanted to impeach the governor. So it's like some kind of defense now, for the governor of Rivers State to say, look, allow the man to become the governor of Rivers State. Let him act as the governor of Rivers State and let him perform the functions of that service. So you understand the kind of background where Asari Dokubo is coming from.
They've said that his remarks or outburst, in quotes, has been described as, provocative and potentially destabilizing. Do you see that as a case, if you assess his speech or his statements?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's for the appropriate authorities to also take a listen to what Asari Dokubo said. We have freedom of speech in Nigeria, but then the freedom of speech is not absolute. Where yours stops is where another person's own begin. I think it's for the relevant agencies to look at that statement, listen to it appropriately, and of course, invite Asari Dokubo if they feel there are statements he had made that had gone beyond the threshold, of tolerance. We need to begin to look at, some of these things and ensure that we control the way and manner people speak.
Now, let's talk about the AYPC, the Arewa Youth People for Peaceful Coexistence. Now, they have stepped into this matter that seems to be a, River State issue. What implications or influence do you see here with them stepping in and asking for peace?
Well, it remains arguable, or it remains debatable. It's more of the local politics in Rivers State. Yes, you could say we have some members of Arewa in Rivers State. Some have been here for generations. So you could say, yes, they have an influence or some kind of influence in the politics of Rivers State through their membership here. But I do not see much in terms of what they are saying. It's rather that should I say, the stakeholders in Rivers State will have to wade into this. Probably call Asari Dokubo and find out from him what's really the problem, why so much outburst, against the minister of the FCT. Probably there should be some kind of reconnaissance, by the stakeholders to ensure that, look, the state remains peaceful because the state needs the peace at this point in time, and there is nothing that should alter, the peaceful coexistence of Rivers people at this point in time.
Okay. So in terms of Asari Dokubo's outbursts, now what are the implications on security when it comes to these outbursts, whether for River State or even for the minister of the FCT all the way in Abuja?
Yeah, I think that's what I said earlier. The security agencies, relevant security agencies, should be able to listen to what Asari Dokubo said. If he has gone beyond the threshold of tolerance, beyond the threshold of what is acceptable, then there's nothing wrong in inviting him, to their office to come and, talk more about what he has said, what does he know, what is he alleging, what is he claiming. These are critical issues for security agencies to look at, either the DSS, either the police, or whoever that's in charge of.
But do you actually see this happening? Do you see any investigations going into these matters that he has raised? Especially when you take a look at the fact that Asari has been very vocal regarding people in power, and nothing has come off of it. No investigation, nothing has happened in these previous instances.
Yeah, I think it boils down to the inability of relevant agencies to take a look at these issues. We should not allow people to say things, and get away with it, without being questioned. Otherwise, it will continue to embolden, others to also come forward and say all manner of rhetorics, accusations, counter-accusations, and all of that. I think it's high time we have the relevant agencies, step into this, try and curtail some of these statements. For some people, 2027 may be far away, but for the politicians, they're already thinking of 2027. And we cannot have, this kind of statement coming out ahead of 2027. 2025 will be crucial. Politicians are already aligning and realigning. You are seeing the way politicians are trying to change political parties and not dress. So we need to be able to contain some of these, statements by individuals, statements that are capable of inciting, statements that are capable of, causing disruption of public peace. I think we need to find a way to curtail it.
I have to talk about, Nyesom Wike at this juncture, right? Because the statement is about him. And the Arewa youth have said that it undermines Wike's achievements, and it's also a distraction from all of the things that he's doing in the FCT. But also, it also points to them affirming, the fact that Wike, to some level, has a bit of a stronghold, so to speak, in River State, And so with Asari Dokubo adding to that, that critic of Wike, do you think that this will aid in him maybe relinquishing, hopefully that's a word.
Yeah, of course it is.
Relinquishing hold of River State and just letting Fubara do his work?
Without any doubt, I'm sure you know that the Minister of FCT has an enormous influence in Rivers State. He was governor for 8 years. He's been part and parcel of governance since 1999, from being a local government chairman to chief of staff to the governor of Rivers State, to being the coordinating minister of education, to being governor for 8 years. Now he's the minister of FCT. So you expect that he should wield tremendous influence in Rivers State. And the minister himself has not denied that. He has said it several on his live television interviews that he has interest in what happens, in Rivers State. And you also expect that those who are not those who are not supportive, of a style of politics in Rivers State will also rise, to criticize him, to oppose him. And Asari Dokubo, has been one of them. I did give a background of the governor of Rivers State. Remember, the minister of FCT was highly instrumental to his emergence, not just as the governorship candidate of PDP, was also instrumental, to his election as governor of Rivers State. And they fell apart, sometime last year when an attempt was made to impeach the governor. And since then, the governor himself has been battling, to stay on as the governor of Rivers State. And he did say something, I think, last year, and said he had only just gained his independence after he got some control of what is happening in Rivers State. So you expect that there will be more forth and back on the issue of politics in Rivers State, governance in Rivers State. The minister won't let it go easily. That is for sure. He's a politician. Right. He understands what politics is all about.
I must ask you, Olalekan, forgive me, because I was about to say Olakunle for some reason. To just wrap up this conversation, do you see Godfatherism ending anytime soon, when it comes to the Nigerian political scene? Do you see, because I aided you to get governorship, or because I assisted you, with campaigning, then you have to have an overlord over you? Do you see that ever getting rid of it now?
Let's not kid ourselves. There are godfathers in politics in almost every country of the world. Let's not kid ourselves. Maybe the kind of godfathers we have in Nigeria are different from the kind of godfathers that are available abroad. You see, candidates who want to contest for positions, even in foreign countries, they go to meet stakeholders, they go to meet people who are influential. There are established hegemonies in almost every country, of the world. So let's not kid ourselves. Godfathers can never leave politics. It will continue to be part of politics. Probably it is the modus operandi of godfathers in Nigeria that have become the albatross. Otherwise, there are godfathers in every political firmament, in any countries of the world. Only that you have hegemonies that people go to pay homage to. You've seen it even in the best of the countries abroad. There are people you must cajole. There are people you must visit, who cannot begin to show up support for you, cannot begin to tell people, to support you. So there's nothing bad in having a godfather in politics. Probably it's the kind of godfathers we have in Nigerian politics that is the problem.
Mr. Olalekan Ige, I want to say thank you very much. I think you've just also brought another factor to the fore here when it comes to the situation in Rivers State that many of our viewers might not have seen or looked at it from before, and that's the issue of the tribal tiff between the upland and the River Rhine position for governor. But thank you very much. I think that needs critical look at for subsequent discussions for anything based Rivers State. Thank you very much once again.
You're most welcome.